The first season of The Rings of Power is finally over, and I do not care. I watched the last 2 episodes back to back, so I'm just going to discuss them together. The second to last episode showed the aftermath of Mount Doom blowing up, and it was easily the most boring episode of the season. While I have a lot of issues with this show, the biggest issue I have is that I do not feel a connection with any of our characters. Peter Jackson's The Fellowship of the Ring had more character development in 1 hour than in a full 8 hours of this series. The only characters I'm interested in learning more about are Erendir, the Black Elf. Yeah, I said it, he's black, big deal. And the friendship between Elrond and Durin. However, we still don't have any hint as to why Elrond and Durin became friends in the first place, and that kind of bugs me. Everyone else in the show is expendable, and there are actually a lot of characters I wish would die because I don't like them. Actually, I'm just going to say it. I want every character to be eaten by orcs with the exception of the 3 characters I previously mentioned. The second to last episode really made me realize how much I don't care about what happens to these people. The entire episode is just people crying and mourning, and it's supposed to be this really emotional thing to see our wounded, dead, or missing characters, and the music is all weepy, but you can't fake genuine connection with a weepy soundtrack and a bunch of fake crying. In the last episode, we finally find out who Sauron is, and we see the forging of the 3 elvish rings of power. Considering how important these events are in the history of Middle-earth, you would think these scenes would carry more weight for Tolkien fans. But I doubt any serious person was impressed. Did anybody really care which character turned out to be Sauron? What frustrates me is that the question of who is Sauron was completely manufactured by the media, but not once in this series is that question brought up until the last or second to last episode. As far as we know, Sauron is hiding in a cave thousands of miles away. But for some reason, in the very last episode, they suddenly start dropping all of these hints that maybe this character or that character is secretly Sauron, and I'm thinking, where did this come from? Maybe you should have incorporated that mystery into the series itself instead of putting that task entirely upon your marketing department. My least favorite characters are easily the Harfoots. I wish I could put my finger on why I dislike them so much. Is it because they're so ugly? I mean, the actors aren't ugly people. The makeup department just makes them look like gross, unwashed, dirty little creatures with ratty clothes and hair. Is it the annoying songs they sing to themselves? Is it their silly dialogue about their hearts being bigger than their feet, or that a Harfoot without manners will get as far as a square wheel? In the final episode, or is it the second to last episode? I don't know. The dad Harfoot says to one of the Sauron groupies something like, "Don't you dare harm one hair on her foot." I don't know. There was also a line that really bugged me when the Harfoots say something like, "Us Harfoots stay true to each other." Really? Because last I checked, if one of your tribe can't keep up with you, then you leave them behind to die alone in the wilderness. The dialogue is still bad. The ultimate zinger was when the 3 Sauron groupies mistake Gandalf for Sauron and they say, "He's not Sauron, he's..." And then Gandalf says, "I am good." And then he blows them away. Whatever. I didn't like that. And the cliches are still pretty thick. They have that cliched scene where a Harfoot says, "I'm going after him." And then her mother says, "No, you're not. Not without me." Whoa, what a twist. Something that I have noticed that I forgot to mention in all my reviews of this show is how they just steal lines from The Lord of the Rings and repurpose them. No, it's not like poetry. It doesn't rhyme. It just feels lazy and like cheap fan service. Gandalf says, "Always follow your nose." And someone says something about a fool's hope, and I don't know, all of that. All of those references to the Lord of the Rings get old. There's a great part where Durin says goodbye to Elrond, and Elrond says, "We don't say goodbye. We say," and then he says an Elvish word, but I immediately said, "The French say au revoir." Name that movie quote in the comments. Overall, this show is a letdown. There was too much character development and not enough characters. Strike that. Reverse it.